All right. Welcome everybody to our first social media training. And I'm going to turn it over to Steph because she's going to crush it. So go girl.
Hey guys. Okay, so I'm pretty much just going to start with the questions that I got on the Facebook post, and then we'll go from there. So first one that I see, Dana asked all about Instagram stories, how they work, how they're sorted, why we would use stories, and how to create them. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have everyone take out your phone, get on your Instagram, and we'll start from there. So y'all let me know when you have Instagram open. This is an interactive call, so you have to respond.
I'm in Instagram. And while you're talking, and you may cover this, because I was wondering, I know, do people do live videos just on their stories on Instagram, or on? Because you know how on Facebook people do live videos just on their feed. So maybe you can speak to that as you're talking about stories, because I feel like I see people do live videos in their stories, but not in their actual feed.
Okay, yeah, you can do a live Instagram, and those, in my experience so far, get a lot less views than my actual story. So until Instagram lives get more traction, I would say just if you want to say something important, always keep it in your Instagram story. So that's tip number one. Facebook lives are great, but Instagram lives don't get as much attention. Okay, so let's just start with making a story. So on your Instagram, click the bottom left where you're at home, like the little home, and then swipe right, and then it'll look like you're on your camera.
Got it.
If anybody needs me to go slower, just let me know, but I'm not going to wait for you guys to be like, okay, I'm there. So now you're on the camera. So on the bottom left, you'll see like a little square that looks like the most recent photo that you have on your phone. So click on that, and then it'll pop up your camera roll. And it will probably say last 24 hours in the top left. But you can click on that and it'll go to different folders that you have in your camera roll. So you might have a folder that is like just for Juice Plus or something like that. That makes it easier to find your photos. So like I have ones that are all organized in different ways. So I'm just going to select a photo. So just everyone select a pic.
Can I ask a quick question related to this exact thing? One time I tried to select a picture that was older, and then it had this big, like, this is not today on it.
I'm glad that you said that, because I've noticed some of you guys posting and like that date is on top, and I'm like, you need to delete that.
So you can delete it.
You can just
I looked at it and I was like, oh, I can't do that. I didn't know you could delete it. You can delete it?
You can delete it. It's just like anything that you add, like it's just like added text or added graphics.
Okay, so you can just click it and
you drag it to the trash bin at the bottom. So make sure that you do that, especially when we're like posting Instagram stories about the shred and there's text on there. I've seen some people that have like, then it has that white date on top, and it's like, oh, you can't really see it now. So I'm glad you asked that question, because I would have forgotten. Okay, so we have a picture selected, and then let's go to the third from, it should be the third from the right. It looks like a square smiley face. Click on that. And something should come up from the bottom. It has a lot of different choices like location, mention, hashtag, and then GIF. So hit on GIF, because those make stories really fun. And you'll see a bunch of different like things start to pop up, like hearts and flowers and words. And you can search in GIF, like maybe search like veggies. And then you'll see a bunch of fun dancing veggies pop up, or whatever else there is.
I'm laughing because this is already amazing. I know, I'm like geriatric with our crew.
Like, so fun. I feel helpful. Okay, so I'm choosing one that says Kale Yeah. And my picture I'm working on right now is a selfie I took in my car earlier. So I have Kale Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see. There's my selfie. There's my kale, yeah, from the gift that I chose. And then let's say this is a video. It wasn't a thick picture because you can also put videos. And I'm going to hit that square smiley face again. And if I scroll down, there's a picture that it looks like a speaker phone and it says sound on. So I'm going to tap that. And then when I first click it, it has like a beige kind of color, and I can tap the actual image again and it turns it to white. So sometimes if you tap tap the GIFs or tap the animations, they can change a little bit. So that says sound on. So if this was a video and I wanted to make sure people were going to listen, I'll say sound on. So if it's like a really pretty like sunset and you can hear the birds or whatever, like sound is important here.
So sorry.
No, keep asking because I don't know.
So, okay, you chose your pick, you did the little GIF on it, and then you said you go back up to the main and you click the sound deal.
Yeah, so I'm just giving an example of something you can add.
Yes. Make sure that the sound is
Where's the sound? Where is the sound?
So in that square smiley face that we went in to find the gift.
Yeah.
You have to hit cancel first to get out of all the GIFs if you're still in there.
Right.
And then scroll down a little bit. You'll see you can choose temperature, you can choose like some other pictures, and you'll see it's like looks like a speaker that says sound on. Mine is right above where it says mood and right below want, but yours might not be exactly the same.
Oh, yeah.
I swear I can't see it. Does it have to be it has to be a video for that to show up?
That one, I'm just giving an example of something that's useful to add if you have sound on your video and you want.
Is it called music?
Nope.
Okay.
It's just can I say something?
Yeah, go.
Sorry. That's not what actually turns on the sound. It just lets people know that there is sound.
Oh.
I thought that might be. But, so it's just an image. It's just an image in there that says sound on.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
I see it. I see it.
There we go. So that's an example. And an example of something else you can put, if it is just a still photo or even not, you can, on that second row, it says music. You can tap on that and then you type in whatever song you want. So I don't know, the first song that I can choose from, it's 7 Rings by Ariana Grande. I just tapped on that. And then you can slide. Let me see if you guys can see this. You can slide along. Am I like the main screen? Because it doesn't show it on mine. Like on the recording, I don't know if it'll show me as the main screen. But you can slide along. And there we go. Like my selfie. And listen, I'm going to hit or make sure my volume's on. And I can choose the part of the song that I want. This is just a fun feature. And I'm going to hit done. And then there's this little box that I can make smaller or bigger. And now I have music and Kale Yeah. And then it's fun.
So I have a quick question because I follow some people and they do these really cute, like they're dancing to the music and they're recording it. Is that on the app, like using that? Or because I'm like, oh, that's cute. Like I wish I could be, real like that and dance for the whole world to see.
Which is great. People love watching people dancing. I actually, when people are doing that, I actually like sit there and watch. I'm like, oh, they're so happy. So 2 ways to do that. You can just have your music playing on a speaker in your house and then record a normal video on your phone, not in the Instagram app. But you can't do that if the music is playing from your phone. So if it's playing from somewhere else, you can record a regular video on your phone, upload the video to Instagram later. Or you can be in Instagram and playing music that is coming from your phone and then record a video. So I'm going to exit out of so say you're working on a story, you don't like it anymore. There's an X in the top left. I'm going to hit that X. I hit discard and it goes away completely. And if I want to have music, I'm going to go into my music on Spotify, for example. And now my phone is playing music. So I go back into Instagram, and to record a video straight from your Instagram, you hold down the button and you keep it holding down. So now I'm holding it down. I'm videoing. flip my screen. Oh, not working, but okay. So I'm going to pause my music now, but there's music in my video. That's my room.
So you just recorded that in Instagram, but it wasn't like a live video to your story.
No, I recorded a 15-second clip in Instagram. And Instagram allows you to be playing music from your phone and you can hear the music on the video. But if you try to take a video on your regular camera on your phone and you're playing music on your phone, it'll turn the music off to take the video.
So what's better well, here's a question with stories. Like, is it better to just to do a live video in your stories or like record a video and upload it?
I typically record and then upload. Unless I want my music on my phone.
Can people tell like if you're like live video versus one that you recorded and uploaded?
Nope. There's absolutely no difference unless you did it days before and then that date pops up that you have to delete.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, nobody knows.
Okay.
I kind of hate that date feature.
It's annoying.
But you can't. I tried to delete it once and I couldn't. So then I was like, screw it. I'm not going to use the picture because I didn't want the date on there. But you can delete it.
It's weird because you have to like touch it and drag it straight down to the middle.
You have to say that again?
For the like the date stuff, it took me a while to figure out too. You have to like touch it and hold it down and drag it with your finger like manually down to the trash thing. And it like kind of like you would on a computer, like you have to drag it and drop it. It's like that. It's down the bottom middle of your screen. And it's a super tiny little trash can. Like I didn't even notice it initially. I was like, oh, how long
same thing with that, like,
so yeah, you just gotta touch it and drag it.
Yeah, the kale that I added, if I want to get rid of that, I touch it, drag it into the trash. So, okay. Another thing you can add just by tapping your screen. So I'm just going to tap it once on I have my picture up and then that brings up words. So I can actually type words. So I'm going to type in Happy Monday. And then at the top where it says, it'll probably default to, I don't know, everyone's default's different sometimes. Mine's at typewriter right now. So it's like, it's the top, like not an oval, whatever that shape is, a rounded rectangle.
Yeah.
And you tap it and it'll change the type of font. So there's classic, there's modern, there's neon, typewriter, and strong. And some of them, like strong, for example, you could add a background. So to do that in the top left, it has the A with the stars. I click that, and then it brings a background color. And I can scroll. Yep.
Oh, sorry. One thing that I figured out, because I was looking at some of Leah's stories, and like she had a background in some fonts that I couldn't figure out how she did it. But if you draw on it, and then you put the font on it. Do you know what I'm talking about, Stephanie?
You can, yeah, so you're talking about like just drawing behind it and then
drawing behind it and then putting the font on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'll type before and then draw behind it because that
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not understanding the drawing part. Did I miss the drawing?
Okay, let's finish the talking about text.
Like what?
And then we'll get to that. So let's say, okay, I wrote Happy Monday on strong font. So everyone just be on strong font, write something, and then click the A with the stars in the top left so you have a color background. So then click on, it's like where all those colors are, to the left of all those colors, it looks like a little teardropper thing, a dropper thing. Click on that. And then you can move anywhere on your screen to select a different color background. So you can use colors from your photo or your video to change your background color. So it doesn't have to be like, because the ones they offer aren't really the cutest colors. So I'm choosing a different color. So in my photo, I had a little bit of like blue sky. So once you drag and then release, you release on where the color that you like is. So now mine, no, you can't really tell, but it's blue up there. So that's one way to do it. So now we can rewind and go to what Lauren was talking about. I'm going to click on so I can edit my font again. I'm going to click on the words I wrote Happy Monday. I'm clicking on them and it's back to like editing those words. I want my background to go away now. So I'm going to hit the A with the stars in the top left. So now there's no background. And then I'm going to hit done, top right. And now we can go to the second from the right. It looks like a marker with a line under it. I hit that and now I'm in drawing mode. So in drawing, you can draw whatever you want. You can write words with your whatever. And at the left, you'll see a little like, kind of like a scroll bar with a dot. So you hit on the dot and it makes your paintbrush either really big or really small. You can be anywhere within that range. And so sometimes if I'm making like a background for my words, I want it to be at the thickest. So I'm all the way at the top. So my paintbrush is as thick as it can go. And then I'm going to select my color again. So I'm going to hit the bottom left dropper thing. And I want it to be whatever. You can choose the color on your photo. And then I go in and where I wrote Happy Monday, I can draw behind it because it'll show up behind the words because drawing always goes behind letters. And then you can also change the type of brush you have. So it defaults to like a marker. The next one is kind of like a highlighter. So click on the highlighter and then draw with that. I like to use that for the background for words a lot. And then there's like the glowy one that makes things like neon. And then there's an eraser. But you can also just hit undo. So I never use the eraser.
So what did Leah do, or what do people do? Like, what's the point of drawing behind the letters? Like, what would you draw? I guess I'm not feeling like understanding the point of that. So like, it's
so my picture, for example, if I wanted to have like my Happy Monday on top of a part of my picture that was a lot of different colors, like the background wasn't even. It was like it's like a tree in like there's different stuff. So then you want your font to be white, but part of the background actually is white, so you can't see part of it. Does that make sense? So then you want to put a solid background that you can see all your words. Cool. Okay, what else can we do with stories? Okay, so there's the X to the top left that you can delete your story, and then if you go to the right a little bit, there's the arrow pointing down with the line under it. That's how you save it into your camera roll. So I like to save all of my stories just so I can maybe repost them later. Like if I am doing like a shred story and I'm adding a bunch of animated GIFs, like I want to save that and I'll just use the same one later without having to take the time to find the perfect like broccoli GIF again. So you can hit save and you can save just the one you're working on, or you can save your whole story, but actually that's later. Okay, what else?
The little smiley face. So there's a square smiley face and then the circle smiley face.
So the circle smiley face is, I don't really use that, but it's kind of like, it's filters. Oh. So yeah, I guess you can, I've never really used this.
Oh, weird.
Different filters.
Weird filters.
Yeah.
So cool. Here's another question. That you'll probably maybe get to, but so when people like, I'm scrolling through stories and it looks like they have the same picture, but like each time you tap, there's more words on it.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that?
So that is why you would use the save button. So whatever you're working on, save it. Or like, so everyone should have something they're working on. So I'm going to hit save on mine. I just put this really weird filter on it. It actually turned it into a video, but that's fine. Okay, so I hit save and I'm going to exit out now. So it's like I deleted it. I'm discarding it, but I know it's in my camera roll. So now I'm going to go bottom left again. I'll open up my camera roll. I'm going to select the thing that I just saved and it brings it back up. And then I can add words. I can add more words. So maybe I wanted it first just to say Happy Monday, and then I want my viewers to tap it, and then it says it still has the exact same thing I had originally with Happy Monday, same picture, same spacing, everything, but then I add the words, hope you have a great day. So it looks the same. So that's why you save it, and then you can keep adding and adding and adding.
So then when you post it to your stories, you post them all Like you
And I
post them
consecutively. Yeah.
Oh, that's the word.
So when I want to do that, I will type everything that I want to where I want my like final slide to look like.
That's the first one you do.
Yep, I type it all, and then I delete one thing, and then I save it, and I delete another thing, and I save it until I get down to the very first thing I said, and then I post that one. Then I go to my camera roll, I post the next one that would come, and so on.
Awesome.
Make sense?
Love
You're
it.
very smart. I would have never thought of that.
I've just taken time. Okay, one last thing about stories is on the top, third from the left or third from the right, there is that speaker button. And that if you do have a video where you don't want anyone to hear your sound, you can hit that and it'll turn your sound off. So maybe it's, I don't know, for whatever reason, you don't want sound in your video. Well, maybe it's a video that you want music to be playing. So you're going to add that music feature, but you don't want the background noise that you had. Like maybe you're Insta-storying, like you're running a Epsom salt bath. And so you have the bath water on, but you don't want that loud, annoying bath water sound. So you mute your story and then you go to the square with the smiley face, go to music, and you add some really cool music. And then that's like a beautiful little clip of beautiful bath water and a candle with an awesome song.
So here's something. So I did have the speaker on here that was an option, and now it's gone. My speaker is like on yours. Is your speaker?
If it's not a video, your speaker won't be there.
Okay. Good answer.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's that. So, if I'm trying to think of, okay, I don't know if you guys all made a story that you actually want to share right now. If you did, go ahead and say send to, and then you can share on your story. Okay, so let's go to now, go to your profile. So go back to home, and then you can just, if you're still in like story mode, you can swipe left and it'll take you back to your home screen. And then hit the bottom right with your picture, and then it'll take up it'll go bring you to your profile. Okay, so we're going to talk about highlights because those are important for us, especially as we're like cold reaching out to people on Instagram. We want them to be able to look at our profile and see like right away what we do. And they can see that from like our description and our first few pictures, but maybe if they're into it, then they'll be like, okay, what are these person's highlights? So those are those, unless you already have highlights, you'll just have a circle with this plus in it that'll say highlight, and that'll be like your blank one. I have a few already. This is where it'd be helpful to share screen, but oh well. Okay, go to top left. It's the circle arrow that looks like a clock, and that opens up your archive. So archive is posts that if you haven't never heard of this, then you've never archived a post, and that's fine. But click on stories, and it'll show all the stories that you've ever posted will be saved. Unless there is also a setting where you have them not saved to your archive, but I think the default is to have them save in your archive. So if you find if you go back and maybe find one of your shred stories, or you're making your new highlights, you would click on one of them, and then, so just for whatever, just click on one now so you can learn this. And then at the bottom, it'll have a heart with a circle that says highlight. You click highlight, and it'll pop up, says add to highlights. And if you've never made one before, say new, and then you can name your highlight. So it'll be like shred, or it'll be kids, or running, or whatever your highlight is going to be about, and then hit add. So in terms of highlights, why we want to have them, like I already said, is kind of just to help inform people what we do. And then I don't know. Okay, yeah, Dana, one of your questions was how do they like organize themselves? So whichever one you've posted to most recently will be the first one that shows up on the left. And then the one you've posted to last will be all the way on the right. So they just keep like filling in as you post to them. Let me look at other questions.
So I have a question, like on your profile, your
Mhm.
highlights have like pretty, all the circles are like pretty pictures. The same thing, right? Or not the same thing, but like.
Yeah, they're different, but yeah. Okay. So this is actually a new Instagram feature. So if you click on one of your highlights, so I just clicked into my like movement one, and then at the bottom right, it'll have 3 dots and it says more.
Mm-hmm.
I click there, and then I go to edit highlight. And so then that's where I can edit the name. That's where I can remove things from my highlight. It's where I can add things from my archive, because on the top right, you can go to your archive and you can add other things. So if you've never highlighted something before, as you're making your first highlights, you can go back to stuff you've already posted. If like I'll find all of your shred stories you've ever made, or like some in the last few months, and post them all to your shred highlight, and then they'll all be there. So you can edit the name, and then it also says edit cover. So I click on edit cover, and you can either choose a photo from your highlight, or you click on the like square with the mountains and the sun that's at the very left of that bottom scroll bar. If you click on that, you can select a photo from your camera roll. And so I had previously gone through, I found some like girl on Instagram who posts all these plants with pretty white, perfect backgrounds. And I was like, ooh, I like that. I'm going to make those my highlights. I just thought they were pretty. And then that's how you do it. So you can do.
How did you get her photo? You just.
I was at her Instagram and I screenshot it. So I stole them. But
it's great. Because on Facebook, you can download the photos, right? But not on Instagram.
Yeah, you can't download people's
screenshot them.
But
also, I think you can do it on make stuff on Canva pretty quick. I think I didn't do this, but this is what Leah did for hers, that she's Canva, the logo part of Canva.
Yeah, I'm getting familiar with Canva through
I don't know anything about it.
Stuff, but I don't know the differences between paid and unpaid version. So I can't speak much about Canva.
I think she uses the free version though. I think.
Yeah. So I don't know much about that.
Oh, you have the paid version?
I have the paid version, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So with those highlights.
Quick question about highlights.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a delay. So when I click on my highlights, I only have one story in there, and I guess that means that I must have like only highlighted that one, because I didn't know. So you actually have to, you say highlight, and then it like keeps those. Is that, I think I missed, or just clarifying, I guess.
I'm trying to think of a good like metaphor for it. So I don't know. Think of like a journal. You have your journal, and if somebody opens your journal, that's like them looking at your Instagram story for the day. They're opening your journal. But if they just look at your journal sitting there, everything on the cover is your highlights, and it stays there always. But you can edit, you can take off and add things to the cover. Does that make sense? It's a really bad metaphor.
Yeah.
Can you? Sorry, Dana. Were you going to?
Instagram's very intricate.
And it just takes practice. You'll just click around and you'll figure it out. So that's all I did.
To save from your highlights, do you only save stories to your highlights versus posts?
Yes. So highlights are saved stories.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, Steph.
Yep.
I was trying to make, just as you were talking about it, a Shred 10 highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to my archives and I picked my first image and I put it in that highlight. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to put the second image in there and it's not letting me. Like I click on the image and it just shows me the image.
So are you in?
I'm in my archive.
You're in your archive. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let me go. And you click on the image and then you're looking at your image.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I think I did it wrong because I just took one picture instead of a series of pictures. I can't explain this.
But you figured it out.
I think so.
Okay.
We'll see here.
Okay. Cool. Okay, let's see also photos. How do we create good ones or edit mine so they look better using Snapseed? Okay, so Snapseed, yeah, that's primarily what I use to edit my photos. And what my photos have in common, I typically do high contrast and lower saturation. So that's kind of like the consistency I have. I'm not like a photo editing expert at all, but that's like kind of what makes my photos look generally good together. And a few of us were on that other Instagram training, but kind of choosing like color scheme-ish. Like in mine, just naturally, I have a lot of green and blue and black in my life. So that's just what worked out. That goes with like my clothes and all that. And that's like way more detailed than we really need to get into. But just kind of thinking about how you can use Snapseed and use your choices of what pictures you're using. Like if you have the choice between you and like a yellow shirt and a blue shirt, and your Instagram goes better with blues, like don't use the yellow shirt because it'll stand out and not look consistent. But Snapseed is just one of those things that you're really going to have to play with, because that would be like, I could talk about Snapseed for like 2 hours.
So you use the app, you'd take pictures and then use the Snapseed app to
edit them. Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason why you would not just use the filters on Instagram?
Yeah. Instagram now allows you to edit your brightness and your contrast and stuff. So really that actually might just be a simpler step to start with. I don't think it makes them look like as good. And with Snapseed, there are a few more options for just editing things in different ways. So, but if you want to like eliminate a step and just start with the editing on Instagram, then that's perfect. Because naturally, like when you're making a post on Instagram, it'll have those filters. So I would not suggest just using a filter. I would say go to, oops, that's a video. I would say go to where it says edit. And then you can edit brightness, contrast, warmth, saturation, and all that stuff. So it's pretty good. It's not bad.
Hey, Steph, can you add an interactive feature to your highlights? So like if I did a Shred 10 highlight,
mm-hmm.
and I say like, I want more information or I want in like that. So that poll, can you add a poll to your highlight? Because that seems like it would be really useful.
Yes. So you can put on your highlight a story that had a poll on it or has a poll. But once that 24 hours goes by, the poll will kind of lock into it and it'll say the answers. It'll say 90% said this, whatever percent said that. So your poll will only work for 24 hours. But what you can do, you can say, ask me a question. So that's one of the other features. So the same thing, making a story, go to the square smiley face, and there's a question. One of the choices is questions. And you can edit that question and say, like if you'd like more info, or send me a message if you want more info. And then it has a text box for them to immediately send through the story without having to go and message you. So
I could put that on my stories today. And then as soon as I post it, I'm available to put it in my highlight.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. You can highlight a story as soon as you post it onto your story, or you can do it weeks later.
Okay. The highlights I just haven't messed with, but I want to do one for the Shred 10 at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
What timeline do we want to like shoot for? I know Leah's probably hopping off like now.
Yeah. So I need to be off in like, we probably need to wrap up in like 2 to 3 minutes here.
Okay. All right.
When you're making a post and like you showed on stories where you can click and it shows you your photo albums that you can choose from to find your pictures more easily.
Mm-hmm.
Is the same true just in your regular posting? Because I feel like I'm like freaking A. I have to scroll through all these pictures.
Photo library. I don't think so. No. Okay. So what I would do, you can hit in your photo album, you can like duplicate a photo, and I don't know if this is for certain. It'll bring it like to a new photo. Sometimes it duplicates it right next to it though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good.
Another question, since I'm 90.
Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I figured it out. Yes. If you're uploading a photo, at the very top, it says camera roll in a little down arrow. You can click on that and it'll go to your different albums.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay.
So a lot of times if it's a photo like that I know I'm going to post, I'll favorite it, and then it'll go on my favorite. Like I can go to my favorites album, and it's easy to find.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel stupid asking this question, but here we go.
Stupid.
So, in posts, like, where you try to get spaces between them, or like you have little asterisks, or like.
Yeah. So that is something that I continuously battle. If your last character on a line is an emoji, it doesn't like to let you have a space in between lines.
Okay.
If your last character is a letter or a period, then make sure you have no spaces after that last character, and then you can hit like enter and go down. And then it'll let you have that line space. But if it doesn't let you, then I just like put a period there and then skip.
Also, that girl said to make your captions in notes.
Yeah. So I do that too. And but you still have to adhere to like the things. You can't have a space after your last character on a line, or else it'll like bring the next line up right next to it. And so that's kind of trial and error too. I'm still very frustrated with it.
Okay.
Yeah. This was good. I feel like any other last burning questions? Because we're about.
I have one more really quick.
Okay.
So I just did my question about the Shred 10 program, Ask Away, but there's no thing for a text box. I'm on the.
So you don't have to add a text box. It'll automatically, there's a little line for them to type if you're if you chose questions.
Oh, if you choose questions. Okay.
Hey,
Where do I
was just going to say, you guys can stay on. Like, I can just stop the recording here. And if y'all want to stay on a little longer, you can, because I'm not going to be on this soon.
I want to watch your call.
Well, you guys still have a little while. I just have to be on early. So
it starts at 9. Okay.
It's not till 9. Yep.